Okay, Manny. Who are we probing today? Oh, come on, Manny. You said I could probe somebody.
What's up, everyone? This is episode number 2 of UFO Buster Radio's UFO Update, the UFO Report, and I probably just jacked up the name of this episode. Whew. It is UFO Report number 2. It's for Wednesday, and unless you're on Spreaker, you're probably going to hear this on Thursday, and you might hear that my voice doesn't sound as good as it usually. Well, it hardly ever sounds good, but it's especially worse today because, of course, I suffer from allergies, and even though I'm taking pills, it apparently is not working very well today, and, that's my life. FML, what can you do? That's just the way life goes, right? So welcome to report number 2, and I had a lot of fun doing the first one on Monday, and we're going to have a lot of fun this time around as well. So the first thing I want to say is, number 1, if you're not following me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, you're missing out because the 2 news articles that I have today for this episode came from listeners who are listening and responded to me on Facebook. This is what the show is about. This is why UFO Buster Radio is here. It's not about getting a bunch of listeners. It's not about making money, selling books. The show is about you, the person that doesn't have an avenue to discuss the UFO phenomena. These 2 individuals reached out to me. One of them you're very familiar with, and that would be Jeff. Jeff was a guest on episode number 77. If you get a chance, check it out, listen to 77, because Jeff, prior to his quote-unquote encounter, really wasn't one of the ufological types, if you will. If you permit me to say that. He wasn't an enthusiast, as many sites like to say. So he wasn't a fanboy of it. I have no idea how else I can put this to you. He wasn't wearing ET shirts or walking around in Darth Vader underwear. Well, he might have been doing that, but I don't know because we didn't talk about that in that episode. But anyway, the deal is that Jeff had an experience, actually twice. One had to do with cattle mutilations. One had to do with a UFO incident, which was validated by someone else. Actually validated for him that they saw the same thing. So Jeff reached out through Facebook and said, hey, check this out. Check it out. Talk about it. My New Yorker side just came out right there. I said talk about it. Yeah, talk about it. Put it on your show and let the people know that this is something they need to look out for because the UK, again, is pulling a fast one on its citizens and the citizens of the world. And if you're Chris Davis or Mr. O, you may pay a little closer attention to this because that government over there, even though they say they have no shred of evidence that there is any kind of ET situation going on, apparently they've got something to hide. So the issue at hand is the fact that back in 2013, the MOD, aka the Ministry of Defense, was apparently going to release a bunch of UFO files via the National Archive. So apparently they released these documents way back when, except for 18 documents. Apparently, these documents had to be re-examined, which really, when you're talking about the government, the code word there is some dingbat did not black out enough. The redaction was terrible, and we let out too much information. I just want to know what happens to the guy or gal that redacts these documents. What is it that happens to them? And really, who redacts these documents? Because it would have to be someone high up in government in order to decide whether or not the public should be able to see this information. Because it's not going to be Mary Jane or Jimbo Bob, the mailroom guy, who's going to make that decision, right? It has to be someone with some significant clearance that has complete control of the situation. So, of course, the Freedom of Information Act was enacted, and people were pushing to get these 18 documents put out there because it's what the people wanted. In 2015, the MOD announced that it was going to release those documents. However, they then pushed it back to 2016. And then they said more specifically, let's shoot for the summer of 2016 and then March of 2017. We're currently in the month of May. No matter where you are, no matter what country you're in, it is May 2017. Those documents have not been released. The word on the UFO ET streets right now is that the MOD has announced that it will be releasing those documents June of 2017. That's right. It equates to next week. So next week, the National Archives will have these 18 documents. More specifically, for those of you who want to sit on pins and needles waiting for this, though that might be a little painful, June 8th is the date that you're going to be looking for the UK to release this into the National Archives. So what really is driving people absolutely bonkers, bananas, up the wall, up the wazoo, completely ape is the fact that among the files that they expect to be released in June, it's documents related to the 1980 Rendlesham Forest incident. That's right. Bentwaters and Woodbridge bases, those UFOs, the fact that these were military installations which were rumored to have been frequently visited by UFOs, shooting down, checking out their nukes, if you will. This is it. For some reason, the MOD is keeping Bentwater UFO Rendlesham Forest nonsense out of the public eye because it needs to be looked over again. Now, the story is that the reason why they stopped it the very last time was because of the elections. Now, I'm sorry, but I don't think I heard that any of the individuals that were running for office in the UK were somehow connected to the whole Rendlesham Forest incident of the 1980s. But maybe one of them is a reptilian in hiding, and so therefore they thought their chances of winning the election in the UK would be thwarted by these files. Maybe there's a picture of them in there that they feel might not be properly redacted. And so they're making the MOD hold this back from the National Archives. And anyway, for you guys that love legacy incidents, and Rendlesham, by my definition, is a legacy incident, June 8th is the day that you might receive the information, the goods, the down low and dirty on Rendlesham. But I'm going to make one prediction for you right here, right now on UFO Buster Radio. My name is Manny Moonraker, and this is UFO Report number 2. And my prediction is that you're going to get a bunch of documents with a bunch of redaction on it. The sentences are not going to make any sense whatsoever. You're not going to be able to really disseminate what in the world they're reporting, and every single last bit of information that's pertinent to this legacy incident will be redacted. So while the UK continues to say that they have no real evidence of ETs in the information that they keep, I guarantee you that they're making sure, as a matter of fact, they're taking 4 years to make sure that that statement is reflected in those documents. So anyone that thinks that there's going to be a smoking gun in these documents that's taken them 4 years to release to you, you're out of luck. And the truth is, as we say, disclosure is not going to come from a government document. Because even if they release accidentally this information in a government document, they will deny it to the bitter end. And it will be your life that will be turned upside down. So that's the first article. Thank you, Jeff, for sending this information to me. For all you guys listening, Robo-O is going to tell you where you can reach out to us if you need to. But I want you to keep in mind, when you're listening to the show as a podcast on your mobile device or on your tablet or on your TV, whatever it is, just get a little closer. Just a little closer. This is your show. I am only your voice. Not a very good voice, not a very professional voice, but I am your voice. And I want to share your perspective on the UFO madness. So Robo-O, let them know how they can reach us.
Don't forget to visit us at UFObusterradio.com, Instagram, Twitter, and on Facebook. They hate us 'cause they ain't us.
All right, folks, the next one comes from another podcast follower. I don't know if he listens. I'm going to have to ask him because I actually know Aaron personally. And he recently found out about the podcast and he's been sending me some stuff and I had no idea. And let me just say this. You don't know that people share your need to know the truth about things like ufology and the paranormal world unless you speak to them. So I had no idea that Aaron had an interest in some of the things that deal with ufology. I don't know if he's totally into ufology as far as every single topic under it, because even ufology, when you take it out of the whole paranormal topic or heading, ufology itself can be broken into so many different subjects. And you may not want or even partake in some of the subjects under ufology. You know, you might believe we're being visited, but you don't think they're taking people. You might believe that UFOs and ETs are extraterrestrial, or you might believe that they're interdimensional, but you don't believe that people are getting probed. Either way, ufology has a lot of different subjects under it. There are a lot of different perspectives, but I want to say that Aaron shared one that he came across, and I'm going to play a clip because he sent me a YouTube video. The YouTube video is actually a clip from one of my favorite people in all of ufology, the Reptilian Man. Those of you who are familiar with the Reptilian Man, you'll recognize the voice right off. I'm not going to say who it is because it's like calling an archon for me. So let me play the clip. Here it goes.
Interestingly, there was a man on my executive committee. He was a very well-known actor and singer named Burl Ives. And Burl Ives, he was a 33rd degree Mason. So all of you people who think that all these secret societies, everyone in it knows everything, they don't know anything. And he said to me, he says, we all know that Marilyn Monroe didn't die of an overdose.
Boop, boop-be-doo.
He said, do you know why they killed Marilyn?
Mr. President, the late Marilyn Monroe.
And I said, Well, I didn't until I got this document. It's a virtual death warrant because she was found a couple days later. 3 August 1962, wiretap of telephone conversations between reporter Dorothy Kilgallen, who was looking into Roswell and other UFO issues, and her close friend Howard Rothberg, from wiretap of telephone conversation of Marilyn Monroe and Attorney General Bobby Kennedy. Rothberg discussed the apparent comeback of the subject with Kilgallen and the breakup with the Kennedys. This is referring to the fact that Marilyn Monroe had been having an affair with not one but both Kennedy brothers, and it was becoming conspicuous, so they broke it off. Rothberg indicated in so many words that she had secrets to tell, no doubt arising from her trysts with the President and the Attorney General. One such secret mentions the visit of the President at a secret air base for the purpose of inspecting things from outer space. Now, this is 1962. Kilgallen said that if the story is true, it would be a terrible embarrassment for Jack and his plans to have NASA put men on the moon.
We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other things, not because they are easy, but because they are hard.
The subject repeatedly called the Attorney General and complained about the way she was being ignored by the President and his brother. Subject threatened to hold a press conference and would tell all. It's a tragic situation because she was an actress. She didn't understand the national security state and the viciousness of those who want to keep these sort of secrets.
There you have it, folks. So, the reptilian man is saying, and this clip is from his recent release video, because it's already being pretty much spread through YouTube and I'm sure many other avenues besides YouTube. So let's not just pounce on YouTube. This is a clip. I'm not going to share the YouTube address for this because what you heard is all that's on there. So you pretty much got it. The only thing that you're going to see is the actual video part of it, where you see the reptilian talking about it. But that part's not important. What's important is that he's making a claim that 3 days after Marilyn Monroe was secretly recorded talking nonsense, that she was murdered by the dark government because of the UFO phenomena and the situation that was happening related to Roswell. Now, I don't know if the people in Roswell listening are really going to have anything to say about this. As a matter of fact, we know that Billy was born in Roswell. So, Billy, do me a favor. Send me your opinion on whether or not Roswell was really worth basically murdering Marilyn Monroe over. Especially since at the time that Roswell happened, it was just a weather balloon. Why would someone kill Marilyn Monroe over a weather balloon? The people at the time took that weather balloon excuse hook, line, and sinker. I have yet to see a news article from the Roswell incident in the 1940s that says that anyone was questioning whether or not that was a weather balloon publicly. So why would the government assassinate, basically, Marilyn Monroe over the Roswell incident? And maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm taking a really simplistic look at this. But I still don't see anyone, even back in the 1940s, killing off one of the most famous stars at that time for an incident that really, to be honest with you, was an open and shut case. Because everyone believed what the government had to say, except maybe the people that were there experiencing the incident. So if you're listening right now, this is what I want from you. I want you guys to hit me up on social media. Let me know what you think. Do you think that the dark government, or anyone in the government for that matter, because we don't even know if there even was a dark government at that point. Dark government probably happened afterwards. Was there someone in the government that assassinated Marilyn Monroe because she was asking too many questions about Roswell? Is the reptilian telling us the truth? Or is that document that he's talking about a fake, a farce, something for him to sell what is basically unacknowledged? This has been UFO Buster Radio, UFO Report number 2. My friends and listeners, I thank you for being here and sharing in my madness. And trust me, I want to share in yours as well. Ciao.